You going to buy another trailer?
We can order it now so you can get it in 3 years.
You need tires?
If you can get it.
You need
No,
tires.
this is what I talked to you guys, I think, talked about a year ago, maybe, about barricade trailer.
Will this be an enclosed trailer or like?
No, it's not, it's a utility trailer. The double axle, 18-foot long. So if we have something where we need to pull a lot of barricades, it's not. We beat up pickups so bad, throwing stuff in and out the back of them.
But when you're saying a utility trailer, I mean, it's just it's not an enclosed trailer.
No, it's not an enclosed trailer. It's
It's like
like,
a
it's
four-wheeler
like the
trailer.
ones with the little it's got the 3-foot ramp on the back.
It'd be like a 4-wheeler trailer. or
Yeah.
ATV trailer.
So will you put like racks on there to where like on cattle panels to where you have the trailers, you just slide them on?
Yeah,
You can
it'll
unload
have some
easy.
sort of steel where it's a lot easier to get them off and on. I know Barb County had, Pratt County called Barb County to use them, and they have it for theirs. So if, I mean, if we need to deploy these to another county or something, it'd be a lot easier to do.
So will you be able to get funding, or do you already have all the road closed signs and stuff like what you need? Or?
So, we've got some, I'll probably buy a few more. Everything is just hurry up and wait, and I don't want to give you a price, because everything changes so fast right now. I mean, she's got on here, you know, that's the price right now. If it changes by the load time, they can't guarantee it, but, so if it changes, I will come and make sure.
It shouldn't change too much.
But she said it should be, this particular trailer should be in, around Christmas, if we go ahead and purchase it.
See,
Good
a
for me.
motion to approve that? Yeah. I make a motion that we allow, emergency preparedness to buy a 2022 tandem axle utility trailer for $38.25.
Second.
Been moved and second. We approve the purchase of a trailer for $3,825. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carried.
Actually, we should finish up mowing today, which is pretty good. That third mower really helped out. Here at the end, I mean, with 2 of them, we were looking probably still another 20 days. So it would have been pushing Christmas, so.
Do we need to send the townships a letter about going up?
Phil will be the one that has to take the flak for that. Would you like us to have the townships come in and talk to them, or you just want to tell them?
Well, I can send a letter we'll send the billing out here at the first of this year next week.
I guess
These will be the prices.
yeah, I'm okay with the prices and I'm okay with going up, first of the year. I just don't want them to read about it in the minutes.
No, and I will set up
Yeah,
in there.
so,
And then if they have questions, then like I
They
said.
can come to a meeting if they got a question.
yeah,
So do we need to, we don't need to make a motion to set that as a new rate?
Well,
Do you have your new rates?
let me just include that, and then we'll go ahead and
Then
do
make the
that.
motion.
How's that?
Okay.
After the letters.
They'll be subject to your approval.
Okay.
Does that work for you guys?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, that way
Yeah.
they're not
I just didn't want
reading
to,
something and.
Yeah,
upset.
I see what you're saying.
yeah, I just didn't want to blindside them.
No, I think, no, that's true. The fuel's gone, everything's going up, so.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's justified.
Actually, I buy a little bit of diesel fuel, red diesel, to get us through to finish up stuff. Till we get some money in, we're running a pretty tight budget this year.
Yeah.
More so than, I can't remember running that tight, can you?
I've never seen you run that tight.
But we spent a lot of money on rock.
And the oil was
And then
more expensive.
Then we spent a little more money on oil. I mean, granted, we didn't have to stripe plat this year, but that's almost 4,000, so.
Yeah.
And then that paid for that bridge, that was $170,000, so. But we should be getting some money back in here fairly quickly on that. Sent for reimbursement on the bridge of $150,000. And so that should be coming. I was talking to Josh with Kirkland Michaels, and he said that the the Corps of Engineers does not like the idea of putting pipes in that stream up there where we want to tear this bridge out. And so he said hopefully maybe we can do is just pour cement in the bottom of it.
And make it a true.
And make it a true low water crossing. Because he says, is that thing ever dry? And I said, very seldom. Because it has to be dry at least 25% of the time, and I don't think it ever is up in there.
Yeah.
There's always water there.
So it's gotta be dry 25% of the time to make it a true low water.
Well, to be able to put the pipe,
Yeah.
it's in there.
They just don't want water on them all the time. Is that the,
Well, it's something about the stream flow and all this. The Corps gets it's amazing. People tell you what you can do and what you can't, but
Yeah.
because that was all through the permitting stuff, so.
so when you do a true low water crossing with concrete, you gotta divert it for a little while and then build it?
I can't tell you, Bryce, I don't know, because I've never seen one done.
I would imagine they would divert it around
So,
and,
well, I know.
you know, to one
I know
direction
they
and then
used-
you come in from the other direction
I
and
know they
build
used to
it.
make some boxes and they would pour cement and then they would dike it off for a little bit, pour the cement. And as soon as it was firm enough, they would let the flow go again,
Yeah,
so. Yeah, they
That
did.
would be a huge expense to try to divert that river up there because that's down in a pretty
Yeah,
good
it
channel.
has pretty good cut through there.
If you got the right time of year when you didn't have much flow, you could probably back it up for a couple of days before you get out of the river channel.
Depending on, I don't know how many springs and stuff are up through that thing.
There's a lot of springs right there
Well,
that
then
crosses
that
to it.
bottom piece-
That's where it picks up all the salt at. That's where it
Yes,
crosses
well,
to
that's
it.
why there's very few trees along
Mhm.
along the creek right through there.
Then the ground would be so saturated.
yeah, I
That's
would
what I
think it'd be a
want.
nightmare.
Ground, how do you ferment
Well,
I would
the
think it'd be a nightmare, but
There's a way to do it, that's, I mean, that's
Dig
what
it out, dig it out real quick, dump a bunch of rock, pour concrete on top. I don't know how that's done.
I don't either, but it'd be interesting to see, so we'll see what happens there. But at least I guess we won't be out the money to put in pipes and then put in some AB3 and then put the seed in it, so. I saw Josh last Thursday and that's what he's told me. It kind of caught them by surprise too, so,
So they drew up the design and then the Corps didn't like it?
correct.
So when will the Corps make a definite decision as far as this is what you have to do?
Well, that's what they were gonna submit to them next, if they could do that and see, so. I don't know, because the Corps gets it, and Wildlife and Parks gets it, and DWR. So it's about a hydra monster, you know, there's some
Yeah.
bits to it, so. It kind of caught me it caught me by surprise too. I mean, I thought, you know, we'd be ready to go tear it out and turn around and be ready to submit, but so it's a good thing we didn't get in a hurry.
yeah.
It's too bad that, well, we can't tear that out because that would landlock that murder's quarter back there, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and I was looking on that deal, and I'm not sure where that is back up in there, but
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with how that's laid out up there. Because it gets kind of irregular, doesn't it?
Yeah, and actually that quarter touches, you know, that dirt road that goes north and south in front of Jerry Long's house. It goes down there and then turns back to the west. That dirt quarter actually touches the road right there, but there's a big old slough right there. So they can't get across the slough, and that's what makes it landlocked. But I mean, that's a pretty big expense on our part.
yeah,
to
I mean,
make
that
sure
slough is pretty wide, and it
Yeah,
really,
it's real wide.
shows up on the map. there.
Yeah, look how wide that is.
Yeah,
Because we're talking about this deal right here, right?
yep.
Yeah, because it'd be almost 2 miles, well, their quarter would be about a mile and a half north of that bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So other than that,
So, we'll have a township meeting after the first of the year?
yeah, plan on it. Then we get it scheduled and this early in January as possible. Does that work
Yep.
better? I'm sure that works better for you guys.
Yeah,
And I mean, we haven't met for a couple of years,
I mean, before everybody gets busy.
so, okay. I'll check on some dates and, you would rather do it on a Wednesday? Is that easier for you guys, or does it?
That'd be fine with me.
Yeah, that's fine.
Do it on Wednesday and have, yeah, just do it on Wednesday.
Okay. Well, that's why we've always done it before, but that doesn't mean that it has to be the way going forward.
Oh, that sounds good to me.
No, that's fine.
I've always
What?
been in this field.
It's just a meeting and lunch. So,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've only been to one.
And usually if the.
last about an hour.
Elected officials have anything to say, they'll get up and talk to them, and do you ever say anything to them, Mike?
No.
Okay.
I mean, unless there's some
Some question.
issue,
yeah.
you know, some new statute that they've done or something, but typically, no.
We might touch on, revenue neutral rate, I guess. Wouldn't that be probably smart?
Most of them don't understand it. Their accountants do it for them.
Well, okay, yeah.
And I think.
I mean, there was a few that were just barely over, right?
4 townships held the hearing, I think. 4 or 5.
That's
So
what I thought.
most of them were just
Yeah, just a hair
Right.
over.
below their revenue neutral rate, so.
If they understood the revenue neutral rate, I guess it's not the end of the world to have a hearing, it's just the publication part of it is gonna land on your shoulders. If they understood that, to not just barely go over, you know?
Well, I think the auditors are doing a good job of explaining that,
Yeah,
the fact that it's gonna cost.
yeah.
And
You gotta do it good enough.
Yeah,
to
I
where it'll
mean,
last
make
at least
it
4 or 5
worth, yeah,
years.
make it worth it to where you're not doing it every single year.
most of these townships, I think, are pretty conscientious. And I really look for the legislature to change some of that.
I'm hoping so. Okay.
I think there was one time we discussed about minimum maintenance roads and
Oh,
abandoned.
Lord, don't bring that up.
Really?
Every year you bring that up, then we have 15 million of them wanting to do it. And then it kind of dies down.
Oh, so you
Kinda
want to
forget
let the sleeping dog lie,
that.
huh?
Let next
Well,
one work
actually, some of
out.
these roads are better off than no maintenance roads. Because, I mean, you take the mow and leave the grass on that sandy stuff, and at least it's,
Yeah.
at least you can get
Decorate?
down. And the sand doesn't blow on it. Not painting, so.
Yeah.
And you didn't want, we're gonna leave that cemetery, we're just gonna leave that cemetery the way it is right now, we'll stay out of it, is that what you want?
I don't know how you could get in there and mow it, so.
So,
Yeah.
well, the only way I could do it is with the skid steer.
Did you find your
I don't
grade?
think,
We found one marker
Okay.
and
I
2
just wanna make
bases.
sure that's what I'm saying.
One marker
yeah,
and
Yeah.
2
we'll just
bases.
have Matthew go up there.
One base was like
Try to put the fence around.
a foot square.
And we're gonna see if he's got a tree shearer or saw, just to cut those couple that are in the way.
And
I guess
another
you guys,
one that was
do
made
you guys
out
have
of
one?
post rock,
No, we
because you
can
can see the blower holes are on the side, but it was only.
Surely no bigger than those are, you can push those out with that skid steer.
Just
And
take back
a
up,
2-year-old
pop them out.
that died in 19.
Pile them up and burn them or get them all
All
off.
along, yeah.
I mean, no bigger than that cemetery is, I think Ryan could probably go in there with his hand sprayer on his truck and spray that whole thing in 30 minutes.
I still think we ought to burn it first.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a big deal to light a match in it
Yeah.
and burn it, but
Get the fire chief to go out there and
what are we burning?
A cemetery.
Well, there's a little cemetery about twice the size of this room.
It's taller than me.
Yeah, with weeds that are 8 foot tall, they're all dried up, weeds, but there's a wheat field all the way around it.
Went home that night, my.
And I think that you could light it and
Will burn out.
watch for 40 minutes. It might burn, maybe,
I don't think it would.
yeah.
It's just those tall pigweeds, there's no grass in it.
Yeah,
It won't
there's
burn.
Nothing for it to really.
Yeah, you can't get it hot enough to get it to burn. I mean, we could try it, but
Yeah, spray some diesel fuel on it.
the city does have a flamethrower
And
that
a
we can
couple
use
of
on it, I
tires.
guess.
Flamethrower.
Where's it at?
Eight south of Stafford and 2.5 west. Two west.
Two west.
Yeah, or just about 2 west.
One and
Yeah,
three
1.5.
quarters, 1
Yeah.
and 3/4 west.
Is that, which Hildebrand lives there to the east of that?
Norman.
Norman.
That's Jason's dad.
Yep.
And Jason farms it. Or at least he runs cattle.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to worry about it going anywhere. Cause it's,
It's just a patch of trees about 100 yards off the road, and they've been running cattle, grazing it, and then it turns out we saw one tombstone and a couple of bases in there. So we're gonna put a
And
fence
maybe if the
around it.
debris cleared out, we might be able to find more, but I kinda doubt it.
So,
not today though, Marshall. I think it's gonna blow 40.
That's like a picture, what do you think of?
Then it-
I'll go look at it and
nasty
see.
tomorrow. So,
Pardon?
supposed to be kinda nasty tomorrow.
You're right.
Said wind chills. I'm gonna start talking about wind chill, that's kinda nasty to me. All right, you guys have a good Thanksgiving.
Yep.
See you next year.
Anita, what's this deal? Do we need to do this or?
It's
It's
up
up-
to you guys. Do you want to pay your dues to NACO, National Association of County?
What do they do for us?
Nothing.
Not much.
Well, if they don't do
Honestly.
anything.
It's, yeah.
You haven't been getting those emails from the?
Oh, yeah.
They
I
send
get
a
some
lot of emails.
Yeah.
So what do they say they do for us?
The lobbyist.
They say they
Oh,
lobby
lobby here.
and they say, yeah, it's
I think we'll decline.
perfect. Thank you.
Yep. Fine with me.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
Oh, well, you wanna do the minutes? We'll get
Oh, yeah, I
that.
make a motion that we approve the November 17th, 2021 meeting minutes.
Second?
Been moved to second, we accept the minutes of November 17th. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, guys. We don't
Come on
have-
up.
Just a minute. Go ahead.
Who wants to start first?
Make any difference to me.
Go ahead, Marshall. Let's hear it.
Well, so we've been looking into the camera systems. For the fire department, I would like to at least start with the north end of the county. I can afford it out of my budget or out of my reserve, either way. I'd like to start out with Seward Radium and Hudson. Stafford actually has cameras inside their fire station. St. John has, well, EMS has cameras out there. And then I would hold off on Stafford until we get the new fire station up.
You been back?
Maxville.
Or Maxville, yeah, Maxville.
So are you talking about putting cameras on the inside or the outside?
Just one camera, and basically all I'm doing is monitoring in and out.
On the outside?
On the outside, just who's going in, who's coming out. And the reason I picked the 3 up north, there's less traffic, you know,
Yeah.
not as many people. I do know at Radium in the past, they've had issues with the city side, not fire, so we've never lost anything with fire department, but the city uses the fire station for their motors and stuff, and they've been missing gas in the past before too. So, but, all 3 of them are it's $4,786.92. It's one camera. I do not believe these are to where I can actually physically pull them up on the computer. They're just, it's all stored on a hard drive. So if something comes up missing, we have to go pull the information from it. And that's
So it'll
just,
be an on-site DVR.
Yeah, and that's just simply because we don't have internet at these places. Now, if I can work with everybody and we can throw internet back into them, get it from the cities or something close, we might do that, but I'm not putting in internet at every station, just for one camera.
Yep. So will that be a camera out on the pole and then your DVR or your hard drive will be in the building and it Bluetooths back and forth, or how's
Well,
that?
I think it's all probably contained within the camera itself.
Okay. How long will it store information on the camera?
I think Jerry, what?
30 days.
30 days?
And I think you can program that longer or shorter too, I believe, if I remember that right.
Because I mean, we have fire meetings basically once a month.
Yeah,
By the time a person gets in there and realizes
Right.
something's going on. But if a guy thought they were having a problem like they do at Radium, a guy could probably,
right,
and putting up the camera will probably solve that.
right.
Yeah.
But that's where I'm at with it. And actually, all of the quotes were the same except for the one quote that I had for St. John, which it was $8,084.63. And that's because on that one, which like I said, for now I'm gonna hold off, but it was 2 cameras. It was covering all of EMS and part of the new building, and then it was another camera that would cover the rest of the building.
And those 2 cameras was 8,000?
Mm-hmm.
Was this 4,000 per location or 4,000 total?
$47.86.92 per location.
Yeah, the cost of the cameras are higher than what we originally, they said. like
I think a lot of it,
They're higher per
Yeah.
camera system. It
the
depends what you want to.
Some of these cameras that Marshall's getting are only $541.
the cameras aren't that much. The server, 2 terabyte hard drive,
Servers.
that's double the price of the camera. And then you got installation, miscellaneous and
installation's
stuff like
$2,000.
that.
So how would that be, Jerry, to where if you want to go pull a hard drive out, you got to climb up the pole, and if you want to get information out of it, or will it be something down low?
I think basically you can just, as long as you're right there close and you have service, you can pull it from it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's some kind of a,
And like I said, if they can get them up there and I can talk with maybe, like Radium Co-op or something, or I don't know if anybody in Radium has, like the community center has internet.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
The seniors Radium Rangers.
For your
Yeah.
rangers.
I would imagine you're gonna
The
get
co-op
your,
would be the.
I would think the co-op would have to.
Because this says-
That would be the co-op.
this says that you're getting a wall mount, rack enclosure, server, cabinet with shelves. I bet you all your information's gonna go to that, right?
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll basically be like what Lawrence put up out there, he's got 2 cameras and all the server and everything is in a locked rack inside his office.
Yeah, so that's basically what we're doing at our office. We've got cameras on our shop,
Yeah.
and then cameras on our building, and a server inside the building. And there's just a little antenna on the edge of the shop and an antenna on
I
the
just
building,
took
and
them
it
and
sends
added them
the
all.
information
So you don't have
from
to
the
run
shop.
hard wires to it?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I was wondering, I mean, if
And
somebody
that
just
might
shot
be
it off
how
the
it
pole,
is.
whether you'd lose all your information or if it
Well,
was.
yeah.
No, I would imagine it's all going,
It's
it's
probably
all
going to that
going
hard
to that
drive
server.
Okay.
server.
Yeah, I guess one positive about it is somebody does shoot your camera with 22. It's only $500 compared to the rest of the stuff.
Yeah.
The expensive stuff's inside.
Chances are you're gonna see who's shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like I said, I didn't know, those are the 3 separate quotes for it. Like I said, St. John, Maxville, and Stafford, I'm not gonna do right now.
How far will those cameras go?
About approximately 200 meters, Todd.
I mean, as far as sending the signal back to the box.
If if there's nothing in its way, it can go forever.
Eyesight.
Yeah, eyesight, line of sight, they
Yeah.
say.
So they're gonna put it on the back of the building, which will basically just shooting down
Right.
the side of the building? Huh. I think if they put it out here on the front, you'd see what's going on.
Well, and I don't know, I haven't been up there and looked,
We can set a pole and a big deal, I mean, that's cheap.
as long as we have power to it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing, it has to have 110 volt power to it.
Yeah.
You know, and I know that if you put them on like Midwest Energies, you have to have permission from them.
Yeah.
And that's why I just set everything on basically coming and going in and out of the building as far as accessibility.
I would think that it would be better to, well, I guess I could look at it. But you know, even if you set a pole out there,
And shot it back towards the building.
yeah, and just having triplex, I mean, it's not like you gotta have another meter buried out there.
Mm-hmm.
I think the extra expense of having a pole set with electric running to it would maybe overcome the extra expense if you could actually see what was going on. You know, because just shooting around that building, you can't see what's going on in
Right.
front of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would think for $1,000 you could set a pole and run triplex across overhead and
I think so.
get 110 to it.
And I know like the one up at Hudson, I think. Where it is, it's right here. And I know we could probably see that was the same way it was on the west side. There's actually a pole right here, a Midwest pole, that we could probably, as long as they give us permission, we could shoot back towards the whole station and cover all, even the truck door, you know, the roll-up doors.
Is that where the transformer with the power comes from for this
Maybe.
station?
I thought it was just a pole. It's that one right where, but in an alley, if there was an alley, it was
No.
right there.
No, this one, they have just recently in Hudson
Oh,
moved this
yeah.
pole. It used to sit almost, I mean, backing in, you had to back down the pole.
It blocked off one of the doors. It wasn't
Yeah,
a
because
straight
we
shot.
looked at that.
And Midwest come in and they moved that pole clear over to the corner of the intersection, so it's clear out of the way.
Okay.
Which I don't think it will matter. I mean, as far as this goes, where it goes, it'll just be getting the permission to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm all for that too.
I would bet you at Radium, if you wanted to mount it on the back of the senior center, they'd probably let you hook into their electric and mount it on their building. Because we're basically both county type entity type deal.
Right.
And they don't draw any power at all. I mean,
Yeah.
I know it's
$10 a year worth of power.
6 to 8 weeks, Jerry.
Installation time.
Yeah.
Yeah, how that works is, if you guys decide you wanna do it, you have to sign that, and they usually require half the payment up front, or they will bill you for that. Once they get the first payment, then they will order the equipment, and it's about 6 to 8 weeks out, once they receive payment.
So you the installation man?
No,
Well, we see you out there in the water.
no, I'm not.
I think it sounds fine to me. What do you think?
Yeah. So you said budget-wise,
But between my reserve and my regular budget, yes, I can.
absorb it.
Okay.
What's the total amount?
4786.92 times 3.
786.92 times 3. Okay.
I would be in favor of if it costs a little extra to get the view that you want, that we go ahead and spend the money because. I mean,
Yeah.
Right.
If we had something done and then,
Right.
I mean,
What's the
then it's too
amount,
late.
Huh?
What's the amount?
$14,360.76. Radium, Seward, and
Hudson.
Hudson. Okay. I make a motion that we approve Marshall to purchase camera systems for Radium, Seward, and Hudson fire stations in the amount of $14,360.76.
Second.
Been moved and seconded, entering the contract for cameras at Seward Hudson and Radium for the price of $14,360.76. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Do they need to sign it, or can you sign it?
It just says approved by.
Will you be the agent?
Yeah,
Your feet's in the fire?
I guess so. I don't have a problem with it.
Yes,
You guys-
we approve.
He's used to it.
Alrighty. What do you got, Rob?
On the camera, mine here range from 16,000, I think is the most expensive location, let me find it for sure, to 7,700 is about is the cheapest location. Gosh, where is it? I just had it. It's 10, 7, 6, 7, 7. Because we cut them down a little bit and everything. I think the total was 78,000, I think, altogether, right in there. It's a little different with mine, where his, I mean, he's actually watching, protecting buildings. My system would be more like, hopefully we might be able to catch somebody doing something wrong. And really with the amount of money involved, I don't think it would actually be payable, worthwhile to actually do it for ourselves. Just on the outside chance we might catch somebody. And that's, we went a different way, different angles to get them in there, and there were some corners that said no, they probably wouldn't work there, so we kind of cut them down, I think 9 locations where we went to, where we had, I think, 15 or 16 before. But
Do you have an intersection in mind that has been a problematic intersection over time that, because I think there is a trade-off between the cost and what you're gonna get out of it. But I also think that we can't stay where we're at as far as technology. The technology's available, and I think that if you don't wanna do them all, I would at least encourage you to.
I would think probably, the way things are going, Hudson would be probably the better one to put them in, if I was gonna put them in town.
Yeah.
And possibly Seward, but I'm not sure.
Just to try it, I mean, I guess what I'm saying is, this is the direction that I see law enforcement, some of law enforcement going. Would you agree with that, Mike? I mean,
I would. My
with the
only question,
technology that's available to us, it's not just seeing, it's seeing and the camera knows what's going on.
right,
So I guess what I would suggest, or this is just my opinion, but if we're not gonna do them all, I would be in favor of doing one and trying it out and learning how the system works. For the amount of money that it costs, you know, you may catch somebody, or you may decide that it's not a good fit for us on the
The
rest
two
of
best
it.
the two most locations would actually be Seward and Hudson,
Yeah.
as far as anywhere. And actually, those are the two
Those are
most
the most
expensive ones.
well, you know,
That's
as far
probably
as-
built in because there's more cameras, huh?
as far as court, you know, a picture's worth 1,000 words. I mean, here, you know, here's the guy on the stand and here's his picture. My only question is, and kind of even for Marshall to some degree, is are these cameras either high-tech enough or whatever that you can actually, it's not some grainy picture of some guy in a hoodie, you know, are we gonna be able to say, yep, that's Marshall, that's him right there, I can see, you know,
Yeah.
that's the only question I have. But otherwise, I think, give it a test drive and,
I think
For instance, for
that
Seward and our locations that we came up with for Seward, we thought would be best. And there are multiple cameras, and that's the reason they're higher. It's not just one camera set up one place, it's,
Yeah. So I know Seward, I know GBT has their wireless fast internet on top of Seward's elevator. So that may be, you know, which I think they might have it, do you know if they have it at Hudson? Anyone know that?
They have to
There's
have
some,
it.
there's
internet?
Didn't Golden
Yeah,
go
fast
away
internet.
to
They
Hudson?
wrote-
Yeah, that's where the wireless, or
I
the
Yeah.
think Golden
Fiber
Ball
went.
is in
They went from
Hudson.
Stafford to
Yeah.
Hudson.
Yeah.
So
It's a
either
fiber-
Hudson,
fiber
either
optics.
Hudson or Seward would be easy to get fast internet.
Now, yeah, these would be connected to, I guess you would be just putting up 2 cameras here? The one right here and the one on the end of town at Seward?
Yeah, because I can't believe one is where your partner is at the fire station, was, that's the fire station one
Yes.
there. We would be, I guess, camera 2, and I guess it was
Yeah.
camera 3. I don't see why there's a camera 1 at all listed, unless they were talking about going into town off of K-19. But there's really too many ways into that town,
Yeah.
nothing,
Yeah.
5 different entrances.
It's about
just
like
Seward.
St. John.
But you know, and would that give you what these cost with the internet, that would give you the technology for to where you can enter a license plate number, and it would read it and alert them?
I don't think
I don't think it
those
would
were
do
the
the
license plate,
license
but those
plate,
were the descriptive.
It more, yeah. Because
You
it
could
was,
put in the descriptive.
it was
of
an
the
entirely
vehicle and
different camera system for just the license plate system. It was,
Right.
he said, and that's all it would do.
Mhm.
We just look for something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, this one, he said, by the way they talk, this would give you more overall view of everything that's going on.
Mhm.
But for
Again, I don't wanna be
just-
Debbie Downer.
For a
but I
lot of
just
the other
remember-
ones that are just locations, I just can't
Yeah.
see the feasibility for those. But as far as the 2 top towns, those would be the 2 busiest intersect spots.
You know, the situation we had, what, a month or 2 ago with the combine that got stolen and destroyed. I'm told it was video, but you could, I mean, it literally drove by and you couldn't see who was driving. I mean, it was, I mean, I'm not saying it was useless, I'm just saying it, for my purposes, didn't offer anything. So I'm just wanting to make sure.
I've seen that, what you're talking about, and with what these cameras are, there's no comparison on the picture.
Okay, well, that's fine, as long as they have a
Rob, how
purpose.
much is the one for radio too?
And something for you guys to take into consideration, it is against the law
Actually,
to install a
radio
Chinese
was an
camera in
intersection.
any government building. It's actually against the law.
Yeah.
You can't go to Walmart and buy a system and bring it home and install it because chances are it's Chinese.
Yeah.
And you can't do that on a government
At the
building.
co-op,
Okay.
Kind of where Marshall's will be.
kind of where Marshall is. I mean, it would be, but ours would be going a different direction where his is going towards the fire station. Ours would be trying to cover the other ways.
Well,
With the ARP funding, I mean, we can run that by them, but
We can run
unless,
by 'em.
unless it's good. But if you're not really interested, I mean, it's gotta come out of your budget.
Yeah, I know,
So-
that's the kicker right there. If it doesn't
So I don't
make it
wanna
through
man-
ARCA, it's gonna,
I don't wanna
Take it from-
mandate that you gotta spend that on, I mean,
Well,
I don't
that's-
even know if we can.
like I said, I don't know if it would actually be worthwhile financially to do it.
Mhm.
But I also see the point where you're trying, like, just try it on a few locations, because once it's done, we're happy.
Yeah, you either figure out that you don't use it and you didn't catch anybody by it, or you want them, all over.
Well, I can afford a few of them, but I would really hate to do $80,000 worth of
No.
extra intersections.
Yeah.
I'd just do one town, it looks to me like Hudson would probably be the best. Cause it's a bigger town, or what do
It's a
you,
bigger
but it's up
town,
to you, whatever you
But
think.
Seward is becoming quite a problem, and it has been. That's
Yeah.
something we'll need to talk to you guys some other time on some housing projects up there.
Mhm.
Okay.
But,
Jerry, is there like a yearly maintenance fee on these things?
No, not
This is
unless you
a-
want it. No maintenance fee. What they do,
Okay.
I
Didn't know if we
enable
needed to budget
monitor them for the
that.
first 60 days or 90 days after installation. They get up of a morning and they check them every morning, make sure everything's up and running all right.
Mhm.
And then after that 90-day period, if you want us to keep doing it, it's like $60 a month.
Okay,
But most of the time, people, they don't extend it, they just do it themselves.
Per camera?
No.
No,
It'll
I think you monitor everything for
Yeah.
I
60
think that
bucks.
you would do that.
it'll roughly run 30,000 for the 2 towns.
Or would,
I didn't know if we needed to budget for maintenance costs, that's all.
Yeah.
No, there shouldn't be anything like
There
that.
was not a maintenance fee.
you wouldn't do the maintenance deal?
I probably would.
Well, they're not gonna be able to get on his and monitor him anyway, because he's not gonna have
Yeah,
internet.
won't have internet, yep.
Unless we can,
We should have internet in Hudson though.
well, but I've gotta
And I
be
can't
able to
think
pull it
Seward
from
does
somebody,
it. Yeah,
you know.
talk to the bank.
I think the bank's right across the
The
street.
bank's right across the
I think we
street.
could afford it.
And see, they've got their
They had a senior
community center.
center right across to
center.
the south side too. They might even have access to
Yeah.
it there also. I mean, I think you got a couple of different places there for
Right.
that Hudson.
And if you have to pay an internet fee, I mean, don't halfway do it, I guess is what
Right,
I'm saying.
yeah.
It's-
I mean, if I
You're
can
gonna
make
do
it
it,
work,
do it.
I mean, that other stuff of getting internet and be able to do that is minimal compared to the purchase itself.
Yeah,
So that was my biggest thing.
So
I wanted to
Hudson
go
does
walking
have
in.
fiber optic.
I'm pretty sure
They
they
do.
do.
Because-
Yeah, they came around the backside.
Yeah, they do.
Up from
Golden Belt was
Stafford.
working up there and setting it up
Yeah,
last year, or early part of this year, I believe.
Because they brought it from St. John over
Yeah.
to Stafford.
And now in
It's-
Seward, they have
Stafford
the
up.
deal.
They
You
took
can
it
get
up.
fast from line of sight from the top of the Seward elevator, you can get real fast internet.
I would bet if you talk to the mill or the bank at Hudson, they would be willing to help you out.
I forgot about the mill, yeah.
I mean, it would
But like you
benefit
say,
them too.
it's- It would be a minimal cost anyway.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna do it right. That's what my granddad always
You wanna
said.
think about that, Tori, don't have to make a snap decision today?
Yeah, I'd like to go ahead and submit it to Swindle, Jansen and Hot. I guess just to see if it's, because obviously if we could get it through ARPA, even the one town.
We can try.
We wanna do
and
it.
See, but I've never have been able to come up in a hurry and say that, yes, it can be paid through them, like
Yeah.
we were first led to believe. I mean, and that sounded great. I mean, if they're gonna do it, we'll do it right then, but this, I think, is possibly gonna go ahead and wind up coming out of the budget.
Yeah,
I like the sound of it when, you know, when it was represented that, you know, you could punch in license plate number, and that comes by, it red flags it and alerts the dispatcher. But I mean, if you say a white or blue pickup, I don't know how it's gonna distinguish much. So unless you got the dispatcher sitting there watching it all the time,
All the time, I mean, and the one with the tag, by the way they discussed it, it's just a limited for that, and that's what you understood, Marshall.
Yeah, I think it's more of a,
One purpose only.
I mean, it's more focused on the intersection or the street just for,
But most of the people we deal
Trying to
with, the
catch that
tags
tag.
don't come back to the vehicles at all.
really.
No, yeah, it's, but everyone has an
the
illegal
vehicle
tag on it.
description would be better than the tag number on some of that. Yeah.
Yeah, because in the larger cities, you could run a light or something, you get a ticket in the mail.
Well, that happens, but yeah.
Jerry, are you aware of any other counties that are doing this with their ARPA funding? With,
There was earlier on, a lot of people were doing it, and I've heard recently that they've changed the rules on that, but
yeah,
I'm not exactly sure exactly what qualifies and what doesn't. But
Yeah.
early on, yeah, the ARPA money was working for this.
yeah. We've got a company contracted that we submit requests to,
Leave that.
and, you know, different things that we wanna do, we've gotta tie it to COVID. And they basically are the end all by all,
They would be the two towns.
you know, whether
But
it's gonna
Hudson would be-
qualify or not, so
Would Hudson be
we're
the
gonna submit it to
number
them
one?
and see what they say.
Or is it a flip of the
Yeah,
coin?
it's kind of a flip of a coin on anymore, yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's a smaller town, but
It's disturbing.
some of the sewer problems could be taken care of different ways. I'll talk to you all at a later time about that.
Before Rob leaves, I'd like to have an executive session.
Okay, so what do you want to do with this first? You want me to send it to
Just send it to
Swindle?
them and see, get their input.
Get their input.
Okay. Leave me your folder, please.
All right.
And just on those
Just on those
I'll just put them
Seward
on.
and Hudson, or you want me to just explain the whole ball of wax, roll the dice and see what happens?
Well, if they.
I'd just
if
tell
I
they
guess
them,
if they
Seward
approve
and Hudson,
one, they
yeah,
would approve it all.
Yeah, you would think if
Okay.
they'd approve one, they'd approve all of
Okay.
them.
Yeah.
I mean, I
It's-
kinda like the idea of trying it, but I hate to just be throwing money down a hole
Yeah,
that don't work.
That's what I'm afraid if it doesn't work, then I have to come up with it somewhere.
Right.
And I have some other things that I need to replace and upgrade on where I get in my reserve more. So
I think our only angle to tie it to COVID would be for officer safety. That with using the cameras, you wouldn't have to do as much person-to-person interaction. Or you could make that case, whether it be true or not. I mean,
Actually,
I'm not a
maybe
police
use cameras,
officer.
you would have more officers.
Yeah, you could.
That's what you're hoping for.
Yeah, you would hope,
And-
yeah.
And discuss, why were you here in this town at this time of night?
Yeah.
So on, so on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll stick our toe in the water and see what happens.
I had one other thing for you guys, fire department related. It's a skid unit for the Can-Am 6x6 that we purchased. This is a custom built, comes actually out of Wichita under fire. But it's a 100-gallon tank with a pump, hose reel, foam inductor. Turnkey, basically set it in there, hook up 2 wires, ready to go for just shy of $7,000. Foam inductor, hose reel, everything.
Is that like a nice Honda motor? Or?
It's yeah, I think it's a 5.5 horse electric start Honda motor.
Yeah,
Um,
GX 160.
Yeah.
Have you got that Can-Am yet?
Yep,
Oh yeah, it's nice.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's big. I mean, I'm not so big, but high off the ground and everything.
Well, yeah, because we
It's a
put
total,
the,
yeah, it's from
we
the,
put the
you got the
extra
top,
lift on
you got the
the tires
camera
and,
Really?
in sheds, yeah.
yeah.
So it'll work well in swampy areas.
It'll work well anywhere in Stafford County probably.
Does this say what it? This will probably weigh over 1,000 pounds, won't it? Well, water's 8 gallons or 8 pounds a gallon.
Yeah.
So just the water be 800.
They
The
put,
skid empties probably.
so this skid right here, they actually put them in, this will fit a regular Polaris Ranger bed. That's all the bigger, I mean, the skid would take up the whole Polaris Ranger bed.
Yeah,
And they put them in there all the time.
yeah.
So
We did the upgraded back shocks though, didn't we?
we upgraded all the suspension on it.
So, I mean, I put 1,000 pounds of corn in the back of my Can-Am or my Gator. And it rides like this, but it gets around. I just would want to make, I guess, I would say it'll work.
The stuff we've looked at, the other skids that we can get, the tank sits up really high.
Mhm.
And basically how this is, I tried to get my phone to pull up a picture. This is a low profile tank. It actually is bed level. And then your pump and everything sits right on top of it. So you don't have something, you know, halfway up on the back to where you've got a lot of
Yeah.
weight transfer.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I couldn't, if you got it pulled up there.
Mm-hmm. Product line, fire skid units, ATV,
Yeah. Just click
high
on that.
pressure skids. So that's an electric reel too.
Yep,
Half-inch line, type of.
yeah.
So, yeah, so that's like what, where did we see that, Hutch Fire?
Probably. Hutch Fire.
Yeah, so,
Fire has one.
so you're, like he was saying, it's not like a poly tank up high. Your tank is down in the bed, and then all you can see is your reel and your motor up here.
Like this unit, you know, the ones in the old Chevys where they run to the top of the bed.
So you do water and foam?
It's got a foam inductor, so we can induct foam into it if we need to,
And it really spreads your weight out across.
the whole thing.
I mean, your deal's useless without a
Right.
skid,
Right,
other than just getting from A to B, but.
right.
And you guys have a trailer that goes on so we can haul out fires?
I traded our other trailer in on a brand new trailer, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you'd probably reserve that for more like fires up around on the north?
Actually, anywhere we need it to go. I mean, if we need it, I can tell you, south of Stafford, you get down there,
That
there's
boggy
that
areas.
boggy area. South of Maxville, down in the sand hills, there's a lot of stuff that you can't just,
Yeah.
you know, you can't get access to without something smaller. So I mean, really, anywhere that it needs to go, we'd take it. We wouldn't just limit it to one area or whatever.
100 gallons will do more than you think too, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And that was part of the
Next
reason,
down like that.
well, that was part of the reason when we went ahead with the foam inductor, because when you put foam into it, you can take that water and go from 100 gallons to more like 300, 350 gallons with foam. I mean, it'll foam out and your water just goes a lot further for you.
Once you get that, will you take it down there in some of those swampy or sandy areas that the people you think might be driving it and see what it'll do?
It all depends on who the operator is on it too.
And typically, I mean, because we've got storage here, it'll stay here, so I would imagine
Don't
that
think she should get.
myself or
like
Pat or
WK,
somebody would be
like
taking
what
it and we
Leslie
would
go up
be
in the
with it the
back.
whole time, outfit it and help them. I mean, we try to go on all fire runs anyway, so.
I'll check.
I would assume that it, like you said, it'd be the media or Pat would take it, make the decision to take it out there and let throw it out there first. But it would be
Yes, yeah.
interesting to see.
Okay.
It'd be better to test it out when you
Yeah,
don't have a
when you
fire.
don't
or
have to need, yeah, don't have to use
and
it,
see
yeah.
what it would
Yep,
do.
yep.
I'm okay with that.
So you got
Yeah.
that in your budget?
I make a motion
Yes, I have
that,
that in my budget.
I make a motion that we approve Marshall buy a skid unit for the Can-Am in the amount of $6,941.86.
Second?
Then moving second, that we purchased a skid unit for the Can-Am for $6,941.86. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
The only other thing I had was we did get our other Stuart Stevenson from the Forestry Service, which is the one that I paid $750 for the replacement of Maxville's that has the busted, the cracked block in it.
Is that's like what we have in sewer
Yep.
approved for?
And it's the same thing that Maxville has too. So I'm gonna turn it over to them if they want to go ahead and this winter and swap their stuff over and put it in service. And then we'll just hold on to the old one and just use it for a parts truck.
Cause it had a crack on
It's
the
got-
back block, right?
It's got two cracks, one on each side of the block, and as it's running, it just, I mean, it pours oil.
Okay.
They fixed it the best.
JB Weld?
Well, they did JB Weld it.
Did they?
Yeah, when they put everything back together and it, I'd just rather have a backup and ready to go,
Yeah.
so,
Yep.
other than that, that's all I got.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Marshall, who's this company? I don't see it.
Under fire.
Yeah, under fire.
I'd like a 5-minute executive session for all.
Do we have anything else after?
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Um,
Linda.
Won't be any action taken up there.
The new truck that we got, that's all the information,
Okay,
stuff in the trailer.
Yeah, Mike, yeah,
Okay.
Mike,
okay,
you can stay.
Thank you.
It's not gonna take very long.
okay.
For our executive session.
I make a motion that we go into executive session to discuss attorney-client privilege for 5 minutes. Attorney-client privilege?
No.
Non-elected?
Non-elected person.
Non-elected personnel, sorry.
And then we'll adjourn
Uh,
after the executive session.
Yes.
Yep.
For 5?
Yep.
5 minutes. Moving second, we go into executive session for non-elected personnel for 5 minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
And you're adjourning?
Thank you, Carol.
Yes.